this is Everything Tech Pro, and today in this video, I'm going to discuss about whatever I know about the newer iPhone which is going to hit the market this September. So we recently crossed the halfway mark. That is, we are less than 6 months remaining, before the launch of the newer iPhone. So this iPhone is going to be different from the other iPhone, and they have to make sure that this defines a great standard for the iPhone, because recently Samsung launched its Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge, and to be frankly speaking, those phones are awesome, amazing. They have got great camera features, they have got IPS water resistant features, and they have got the superb display, good sound, wireless charging. They're very good, and there are many aspects in which they overtake iPhone and prove that it's a worth investment than buying an iPhone. But traditionally, people who think that iPhone is what they want to switch. But people who are just running in the race to choose the phone which is the best in the specs, they will definitely go for the Samsung Galaxy S7 or the S7 Edge. So Apple has a lot of catch-up work to do. Samsung really listened to their customers, by adding the extra micro SD card reader in which they can store their data. That's where they have made their mark. They've listened to the customers and they've given them extra storage features. So now we're coming up back to the iPhone. So what's gonna be the lineup this time? Generally, starting from the iPhone 5s launch, there has been 2 launches each year. That includes first the iPhone 5s, they launched the iPhone 5s and the iPhone 5C, and then next year they launched the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus with the larger display, and the 6 slightly bigger than the iPhone 5s. The next year, that is 2015 September, they launched the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6s Plus. So both following the same concept of the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus, but with a Force Touch, or maybe they call it the 3D Touch, and various other features. So this time, many of the predictors, or many of them who analyze Apple, have claimed that this time Apple is going to launch not 2 but 3 new iPhones. So the one with the standard one, it's going to be called as the iPhone 7. The other one, which is the bigger iPhone, is going to call as the iPhone 7 Plus, that is guessed from the previous releases. But the third one, which is the biggest of them all, or maybe it's going to have the same screen size of the iPhone 6 Plus with good display qualities and all, it's going to be called as the iPhone 7 Pro. So this time we're going to have 3 new iPhones, so that's really good. People have wide range of variety of phones to choose from this year. So next we'll see what they're going to look like, because look is one of the things which people like about the iPhone, because the iPhone's look is very premium, and when you just hold it in your hand, it feels like you have the world in your hand because of its looks. So there are various design leaks for this iPhone 7, and we're going to see the first design now. So it's a leaked design from the AutoCAD programmed render. So let's have a look at that first. So this is the image of the newer iPhone which is going to be launched. So I don't know whether you noticed or not, the newer versions of the iPhones are said to have the curved antenna bands instead of the cross antenna bands on the other phones. So if we consider the older phones like the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6s Plus, they were almost similar to the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus. So the new iPhone 7 is said to have a design change, but it will not be a total design change. You'll have some changes like this, the antenna band change and some others, but it will not be that much change in that. It's not going to be a complete design change. So next we're going to say something which is quoted by Min-Chi Kuo, who is one of the best Apple product analysts, and he says that from 2018 Apple may skip the legendary S series or the S concept from the iPhone 3 or maybe 3G. After the 3G came the 3GS, then 4, 4S, 5, 5S, the 6, 6S. The S series has been starting from the beginning of the launch of the iPhone. So this time from 2018, he guesses that it's going to be something else. They're going to maybe directly go to iPhone 8 instead of the iPhone 7S, something like that. But it's going to happen, I think, because Apple generally love giving us with a lot of surprises, and this is going to be like one of the surprises. So, okay, and we know that at last the iPhone is going to be again thinner than the iPhone 6S and the iPhone 6S Plus. So the iPhone, he also quoted that it's going to be about 1 millimeter thinner. So it could be somewhere between 6 to 6.5 millimeters thinner, which is as thinner as the newer iPod 6th generation, which is at 6.1 millimeters. So, with a good advantage, there is also a disadvantage that comes up with it. So, in all these Apple phones, you see, like from the iPhone 5, the bottom of the iPhone will have a microphone on one side, a speaker on the other, with the headphone jack and the Lightning connector. So to achieve this thing, they're gonna remove this headphone jack right over here, and they're gonna bring in many things. Like they're gonna be bringing in this thinner version of the Lightning connector, and they're gonna remove this 3.5 millimeter jack, and then they're gonna introduce a headset which fits in your Lightning connector. Definitely, in the starting, people will go nuts about it and say, oh, "What is it going on?" You removed the most important part of the phone that supplies you with audio. But let's consider the past. When the floppy drives were removed from the computer, people went nuts. Oh my God! You removed the floppy drive. You were using the floppy drive from starting to the end, and people got used to the CD or DVD drives. And when Apple launched the MacBook Air, people were shocked. There is no CD drive. They started asking, what am I going to do? I don't have a CD drive. I use CD and DVD a lot of, and what's this? Apple is not going to do this. They have to revert back to the CD or DVD model. But it has been a success. People started using pen drives, hard disks, and people rarely use CDs to install softwares, I guess. People don't carry CDs, they carry pen drives instead. So with a change of era, Apple recognizes that the 3.5 millimeter jack has been here since 40 years. And Apple recognizes that they have to do something legendary and have to change this mode. So they're going to bring in, as I told, they're going to bring in a thinner Lightning connector port, and there's going to be no headphone jack. So basically, people they're going to think because it's going to be easy for Apple to make it thinner. But as I told, Apple recognizes that they're using the same technology since the past 40 years. So Apple thinks you need to launch some revolutionary concept. Okay, so let's have a look at what patent Apple holds for its new headsets, what they call. So this is the patent that Apple holds for its new earphones, which suggests that Apple is going to be bringing in both wired as well as a wireless headset. You can listen it wireless, and if your power goes off in the wireless, you can connect it to your Lightning connector and you can charge it. Other sources say that it may be two parts, one that give you with the box, the wired Lightning connector one, or the other, which is like this, the wireless one, which they call it EarPods or the AirPods. So it's not like that Apple has removed your 3.5mm jack and is giving you nothing. So with this upgrade, Apple is giving you tons of good things. You're going to have high quality audio streaming onto your AirPods, and with this you could actually have stereo speakers onto your iPhone, because it gives the free space that's present on towards the place where they place the 3.5mm jacks. And this is the feature I really like, because most of the times I forget my headset at home, and I need to use my phone to listen to songs. So I use it for listening to songs, and if it's a stereo speaker, the audio quality is going to be like, wow, I'll actually listen without the headphones. So it may be the phone that could come with the stereo speakers, and there are a lot of cases that indicates it. So one of them is the leaked image of the iPhone 7 case, which I'll be showing you right now. So this image indicates that Apple may bring in two speakers or the stereo speakers into their newer iPhones. The other source says that you may have a mono speaker, but there will be no 3.5mm jack. So next up about the smart connector which is present on the iPad Pro. So when you see the iPad Pro, you see the small connectors on the bottom of your iPad, which you could actually connect it to the keyboard and various things. So iPhone 7 is said to have the same connector as the iPad smart connector. So that is clearly evident from the photo which I'm about to show. With the introduction of this, there are a lot of new things which is going to be there in your iPhone. I guess you're can use your iPhone to connect with the same keyboards that were there with the iPad. Or maybe there is a very less chance, but there might be a chance that even Apple is introducing its Apple Pencil to the newer iPhone. But these are least likely to happen because Apple Pencil is just mainly for the iPad Pros, which they have brought in, the bigger one and the smaller one. But this could happen, but I don't know why they have brought in these smart connectors, but I think Apple might be thinking about this, or if there is some surprise they're having in their bag, we'll just know when the event occurs, because before that nobody can confirm anything, because Apple likes to keep its lineup, its things secret till the release date. So this shows the smart connector in the bottom of your iPhone. So this is one more photo which confirms that both your iPhone 7 Pro, 7 Plus as well as 7 is going to have stereo speakers. The one on the left is the iPhone 7 Pro with the dual camera, or I could say dual lens, and the one on the right is the concept of the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus. Single lens but a bigger camera. So these images clearly indicate that the new phones which we'll be seeing this year are definitely going to have a stereo speaker, and there are not going to be any of the 3.5mm jacks. So next up, we're going to talk about the storage. What's the iPhone 7 will be having as its storage? So from the beginning, iPhone 5s, when starting, we had three variants like this. I'm having the iPhone 5s, the 16GB variant, and except for this, there was 32GB and the 64GB. But if you consider older models of the iPhone 4S and all, you had 8GB, 16GB, just two variants, I guess. So now, or maybe 64 also was there, but now with the new iPhone 7, they're going to discontinue the 16GB model like they did on the iPads. So the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus will be having a base storage of 32GB. It may go up to 64GB and 128GB. But for the iPhone 7 Pro, it could be anything. It could be 30GB starting, and then it could be 64GB, and then directly 256GB, skipping the 128GB. Or they might be skipping up the 32GB version, and they may have 64, 128, and 256. So, but the most probable thing would be 32, 64, and 256 for the iPhone 7 Pro. And for the 7 and the 7 Plus, you're going to have 32, 64, and 128. So that is it for the storage of the newer iPhone. So there is a slight correction in which I said the iPhone 7 Pro will have the storage option of 32GB, then 128, then 256. That's the confirmed storage specification of the newer iPhone 7 Pro. Now the display, we have been confirmed that the iPhone 7 or the 7 Plus or the 7 Pro won't be having the newer OLED display. Instead of that, there will be a resolution upgrade. So the newer iPhone 7 is said to have the 920 into 1080p, which makes it full HD. That is, from 326 pixels per inch, it's going to have 429 pixels per inch. That's really good, but not that awesome. Samsung's phones come with much higher pixel per inch ratio, so Apple has a lot of catch-up work to do. And now the iPhone 7 Pro, it's going to have 2560 into 1440 display. So that's good, but Apple still has to catch up to Samsung. Next, what's powering these new powerful phones? We're going to have A10 with M10 integrated as usual, and the TSMC is making these chips, and they're going to produce about 1 million of them for the newer version of the iPhones. Next up, the RAM. The iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus will be having a 2GB of LPDDR4 RAM. On the other hand, the iPhone 7 Pro is said to have 3 GB of LPDDR4 RAM. So this is the RAM part. Next up, we're going to talk about the battery. So generally, I don't know for which model which, or if the iPhone 7 Pro will have a larger battery or not. But anyway, the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus will have definitely a larger battery as compared to the iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus respectively. They're going to have 7.04 watt hour, which is equal to 1820 mAh. And I don't know whether the iPhone 7 Pro will have a larger battery compared to the 7 and the 7 Plus, but this is what we know is the battery specs. It's going to have a larger battery, 7.04 watt hour, 1820 mAh. So next we'll go to the camera. As we see in the starting, I showed you one image of the antenna bands of the iPhone. We saw a dual camera. That dual camera is from the iPhone 7 Pro. So the iPhone 7 Pro will have dual camera, and the other iPhones, such as iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus, will have a single camera. They're going to have low light capture features. That is the main feature of the Samsung's camera. And next, they'll have a better aperture rate. And then all the cameras in the newer iPhones will be larger. And in the iPhone 7 Pro, you'll have a dual lens camera, which will not protrude that much. What is the function of this dual lens camera? The feature is that you could record once and you could change that video into a slow motion or maybe a UHD 4K and all. So that's going to take a lot of space. So if you're buying an iPhone 7 Pro, I bet you have to take the 128 or the 256 gigabytes. But anyway, you could switch off that mode using a software. And next up, the next is the wireless rate. So currently, the iPhone 6 and the 6s, the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6s Plus are having 300 Mbps wireless connectivity. But with the new iPhone 7, 7 Plus, and the 7 Pro, you're going to have 450 Mbps wireless connectivity. That's quite a jump from 300 to 450. That's good. So next is we're going to talk about the release. As usual, Apple is going to release
It's 7 o'clock.
Newer iPhone in the September, and it's going to have iOS 10 by default. And there are things which is very least likely to happen that I want to tell now. Like there may be some graphical change in that. Like there might be a no home button, like the home button with the Touch ID will not be there. It may be integrated onto the screen, but that's least likely to happen, and that may happen when your OLED screen comes. So that sounds sense. Waterproofing, most of them believe that your new iPhone may have waterproofing, but an Apple insider has confirmed that the iPhone 7, 7 Plus, and the 7 Pro same the exact same waterproofing features as that of the iPhone 6. So your phone is waterproofed. And there may be wireless charging, because when you are using those wireless AirPods, or maybe the AirPods which you connect into your Lightning connector, you have nowhere to charge. If you're using it for your earphones, you cannot charge. So Apple may bring in wireless charging. And next is they could come up with the USB 3.0 faster charging mode. And then they could have the optical stabilization. These all are most probably to happen. The next thing which is going to come up is the second generation 3D touch, and that's for sure it's coming, that it can detect multiple fingers using the 3D touch or the force touch. So that's it, guys, for today. That's what information I'm having right now. But as the time progresses, there are going to be more updates, and I'm going to let you know by posting these videos. So for more updates, please stay tuned to this channel. I'll be uploading this video in this channel. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can comment whatever you want on the comment box, and you can let me know what you think about this page. So until the next video, I'll see you guys. Goodbye and peace.